Hey guys, so I'm going to talk to you about something a little more serious than my normal videos. Um, my best friend recently lost temporary custody of her daughter because I don't know if this is in every state, but in Indiana you have to file, if you're going to be moving, you have to file 90 days in advance, and you have to provide the address of where you're going to move to. Well, she didn't know that she had to do that, and she let the father of her child know that she was moving, and he never had any issue with it until she started kindergarten in Indianapolis. I live about an hour away from Indianapolis. So he took her to court, and because she didn't file a piece of paper, she has lost temporary custody of her daughter. She goes back on September 29th for the judge to determine who's going to have custody of her. Now, let me explain this really quick. I've known her for 3.5, 4 years, something like that. She is a little kooky, a little crazy, whatever. But as far as being a mother, she's a fantastic mother. Her daughter's name is Eris. She is 5. And she has Asperger's. Now, Megan is a licensed special ed teacher, so she knows how to deal with a child with Asperger's. Eris needs routine. If you don't know about children that are on the spectrum, the biggest thing is they need routine. They need consistency. With the child's father's name is Josh. The problem with Josh having custody, number one, when they were married, Josh was violent towards Megan. Would choke her, pin her up against a wall, stalk her at work, which immediately brings concern to me if Eris has one of her tantrums that he might do something to her. The second being, he works until 6:30 every night, and he has no family unit here. So his family is driving from Robinson, Illinois, which is about an hour away, to pick her up. And on Thursdays, he's actually on call. So she goes to Robinson and spends the night, which means she's getting an hour less sleep because his parents have to take her or get her up and bring her back to Terre Haute. While Josh and Megan were married, he threatened her quite often that if she ever left him, he would take the child. He has family that lives right outside of the Canadian border. He would also threaten her that if she didn't sleep with him, that he would take the child and she would never see her again. Thankfully, Megan got out of that relationship. The custody agreement was she would have Eris Wednesday through Sunday, and Josh would have her Sunday through Wednesday. But because she started kindergarten this year, that had to change, and Megan did everything that she could to appease Josh. He would actually get more parenting time with her because he would get longer periods when she was on break and things like that. Unfortunately, none of that appeased him, so he did take her to court. Megan, on the other hand, has a stable home by moving to Indy. The reason she moved is her husband is a newscaster in Indy and had to live in the Indianapolis area. She ended up getting a job making about $7,000 more than what she made here. So, two-parent household. Her husband has family in the Indianapolis area. They live 3 minutes from Eris's school. And again, the issue is Eris started kindergarten at one of the best elementary schools in Indiana. She went there for 3 weeks before this incident happened. Megan took her to Josh on Friday, came to Terre Haute on Sunday to pick her up, and Josh had disappeared. He was staying at a hotel apparently because Eris saw a sticker in his car and said, oh yeah, that's where we stayed to go swimming. So he basically, in my opinion, kidnapped her, which I know in the eyes of the law, that's not what they view it as. But if you're hiding out, then you know you've done something wrong. So he took her to the school down here on that Tuesday when school started and then went to court. And again, the judge, she said, did not seem happy about giving him custody, but there wasn't an option. His hands were tied with the law. So Megan has a lawyer. Her lawyer is a friend of hers, but unfortunately he works for a law firm, so it's not that he can do pro bono work for her. He was nice enough to not make her pay the $3,000 up front to retain him, but now she owes him $6,000, plus she was ordered mediation by the court, which is $500 up front and then $300 per hour, and it is an all-day mediation. So the reason I'm here, and I hate doing this, but, you know, that little girl needs to be with her mom. So, sorry. So I'm going to list her GoFundMe below. Sorry. So if any of you can find it in your hearts to donate, I'd appreciate it. So I'm going to go because obviously this is cute. So just think about donating. Hey guys, I just wanted to add this at the end because I lost my shit and couldn't hardly speak. But, you know, I know that money's tight for everybody, and I don't expect people to give a ton of money or anything like that. But just remember, even $5 from multiple people can help. You know, I wouldn't ask it if it were for me, but, you know, she works hard, and that little girl is everything to her, and that just breaks my heart to think that she might lose her permanently. I mean, just to add a little story, this was the first weekend that she had her since this temporary custody thing occurred. And when they went to do the drop-off on Sunday for her to go back to her dad's, Eris freaked out. She begged and pleaded not to have to go. She wanted to stay and not go to her dad's until the next Friday, which is what she's used to. She's used to just being with him for like 3 days a week. To the point where Megan had to say, you know, I'm going to put you in the car. You have to go home and go to bed. And Eris screamed and no, 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 mommy, no. And Megan had to just put her in the car and pull her arms off of her and walk back to her car. And she turned around to say goodbye, and Eris was just screaming and kicking and yelling and just did not want Josh to have her at all. So, I mean, hopefully the judge is going to see all of this. I mean, I know I'm biased because I am friends with her, but, you know, trying to look at it objectively, I really think that the judge will go with her. But, you know, if she doesn't have a lawyer because of these fees that are just astronomical, you know, she doesn't stand a chance because his parents have the money to pay for a lawyer. So like I said, even if you can give $5, you know, just anything to try to help her. You know, if you've got a child, just think about what you would do in this situation. So I'm going to lose my shit again, so I'm just going to leave it. But, you know, again, the link is down below. If you can give anything, we would really appreciate it. So, thank you.